Good evening. Welcome to Phoenix #1 Governing Board meeting for October 1st. It is 5:15 and I am calling this meeting to order. Moving on to our tribal land acknowledgement. In partnership with the tribes who called Phoenix their home first, we acknowledge and respect the land our schools are built on. We commit to being a strong partner with any and all tribal nations who entrust their children to our schools. We are grateful and honored to be partners. May I get a roll call, please?
Good evening. Roll call for Ms. Jessica Bueno,
Here.
Mr. Regional Carrillo, Ms. Erica de la Rosa,
Here.
Dr. Alicia Vink,
Here.
and Ms. Carmen Trujillo.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Moving on to adoption of the agenda. Do I have a recommendation from admin?
Good evening, President Bueno, Governing Board, Cabinet, Community. Administration and staff recommends the adoption of the agenda as presented.
Thank you. I motion that we adopt the agenda as presented. This is Carmen Trujillo. I'll second.
Roll call for Ms. Jessica Bueno,
Aye.
Ms. Erica de la Rosa,
Aye.
Dr. Alicia Vink,
Aye.
and Ms. Carmen Trujillo.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to current event summary, starting off with the superintendent's report.
All right, good evening. I am obviously not Superintendent Gonzalez, so I'm very happy to be stepping in and filling in this evening, and I hope I do her justice. So she left us notes for our updates this evening. I'm happy to report that the work of our attendance teams and family and community engagement specialists is paying off, and we're seeing our attendance on the rise. Thank you to everyone who is working to make sure our students are able to come to school healthy, confident, and ready to learn. This evening, we will be receiving a report on our annual financial report, or AFR, as part of a statutory requirement to provide public update on our finances and submit the final report to ADE by October 15th. As a district, we take the responsibility of being good stewards of our district funds seriously. And while the end of ESSER dollars is a direct impact to all district funds, we have worked hard to make sure that loss is not felt in our classrooms. I'm also happy to report that our dual language team is continuing to meet and making site visits to exemplary models across the valley to finalize the model that we will use in Phoenix #1. Thanks to Ms. Mary Lou Gonzalez and Dr. Sarah Galetti for leading this work that includes teachers, specialists, family members, and we work to bring an evidence-based model to our district. We do not yet know which school or schools will house our dual language models, but expect to finalize that following phase 2 of Reimagine with the community visioning meetings, or charrettes. Speaking of charrettes, we are happy to have Orcutt Winslow leading this work to help us identify what we want and need in our communities. We need students, families, staff, and community to participate in these, so be watching for more information. Please mark your calendars to attend one or all of these sessions, including the dates being on October 21st, October 28th, November 4th, November 18th, and December 12th. Times and locations will be posted soon, and we'll be making sure to get that information out across all of our communication platforms. Finally, we are closing the first quarter, believe it or not, of the academic year this week, which means family conferences. Many of our schools have been working with students to set learning goals and are having students lead these conferences, showing what they have learned in the content and about themselves as scholars. If we have any parents tuning in, if you have not been received any communication regarding your child's conferences, please reach out to your child's teacher. We want to make sure we reach all of our kiddos and their families. Thank you to our families, our community partners, our principals, teachers, and district staff, and most important, our students, for making Q1 of 2024-25 such a wonderful start of the year. And that concludes the superintendent's comments.
Thank you. Do I have any board members' reports? Okay. I just want to share that we just celebrated our National Principals Day in recognition. Thank you to our 14 amazing principals. Thank you for your dedication and hard work to our students and your staff and our families. And then second is acknowledging it's also National Custodial Day tomorrow. So thank you to our support staff for all the hard work that they do to also keep our campuses looking pristine. So thank you in recognition to everybody. And then also acknowledging that we're on fall break next week. So students and families, I hope you use this as a respite to get prepared for Q2. Q1 has been amazing. I hope we're into our routine and rhythm, but please use this as some rest time, and we'll see you back in a couple of weeks. So moving on to our community communications, do we have any?
We do not have any in person or electronic.
Thank you. Moving on to consent agenda, I motion that we approve the consent agenda.
This is Carmen. I'll second.
Roll call for Ms. Jessica Bueno,
Aye.
Ms. Erica De La Rosa,
Aye.
Dr. Alicia Vink,
Aye.
and Ms. Carmen Trujillo.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to our action items where we will hear about our annual financial report for 2023-24. I'll pass it over to Ms. Mena.
Good evening, President Bueno, Governing Board, Dr. Ailshire, guests. Tonight, I am presenting the fiscal year 23-24 annual financial report. The annual financial report, just as kind of some background, is a recap of the district's revenues and expenses every fiscal year, which runs from July to June. The AFR, as Dr. Ailshire stated earlier, is required to be presented, approved, and submitted to ADE no later than October 15th of every year. Our annual financial report will review our revenues and expenses for different funding sources that the district has, such as maintenance and operations, federal projects, classroom site fund. And then we also look at categories. So our biggest categories are salaries and expenses, administration, instruction, capital, those kinds of things. Timeline for this fiscal year AFR. So our fiscal year ended July 30th of 2024. We have a 2-month encumbrance period to kind of review all of our revenues and expenses for the fiscal year, make sure we pay out any expenses for products or services that we received prior to June 30th. And then do any kind of allocations and journal entries adjustments that we may need to make sure that all of our funds are clean. All of this occurs while we are doing our annual audit. And they will use our AFR for their final steps. So the AFR forms are released every year from the Auditor General's office. They're developed by them. They like to make corrections and changes and updates to our form. So for this year, our final form was released on September 17th. So now we're going to get into a little bit of our revenues and expenses. So first off, we have our maintenance and operations fund. We did see revenue last year of 55.9 million. With expenditures at 58.8. We do realize that there is an increase to our expenditures last year, and we did it is attributed to our equity adjustment that we gave our employees, along with the unexpected costs for outsourcing a lot of our services that the district utilizes. We are currently working to reduce that. And we're meeting with all the departments and working to hire all of those staff directly rather than have to outsource. And we're doing a really good job on that. If you'll notice, our maintenance and operation fund is our largest revenue fund. It consists of funding for regular education, special education, transportation, and desegregation. And our second largest source of revenue is federal projects. And those consist of title funding, IDEA, Medicaid, E-rate, ESSER. This is the last time we will have ESSER, so it will drop off of that.
Can you share what IDEA is?
IDEA is our Exceptional Student Services federal funding. Okay, and next we have, I just wanted to give you a general idea of where our expenses are coming from. If you'll notice, we spent approximately $39.8 million last year on salaries and benefits. It equated for 86% of our budget. Next, we have district additional assistance, also known as capital. We received 2.9 million in revenue from the state for that. And we spent approximately 3.3 million. Again, those expenses were a little bit increased, mostly due to increase in our property, such as furniture and equipment, and our textbooks and instructional aids. We did a textbook adoption this last year. So we were able to utilize some of our carry forward funds from last fiscal year to help offset this. And we are setting priorities with what our new expenses are moving forward and budgeting appropriately. Our goal is to start rebuilding our carry forward so we can utilize it when unexpected issues happen. And lastly, we have our classroom site fund. So our classroom site fund, we saw a revenue of $4.2 million. Last year, we expended 2.5. This actually helps build our carry forward for our classroom site fund to 6 million, and we can utilize that to offset some of the costs for our certified teachers. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Ms. Mena? No. Okay, thank you so much. With that, I motion the approval of the 23-24 annual financial report.
This is Alicia Vinkel, second it.
Vote call for Ms. Jessica Bueno,
Aye.
Ms. Erica de la Rosa,
Aye.
Dr. Alicia Vink,
Aye.
and Ms. Carmen Trujillo.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're moving on to some policy updates. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 policies to review. This is the second reading. And were there any edits or questions that we had for any of the policies on the agenda? Go ahead, Ms. Trujillo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have one small edit for policy BEDG. It's in the third paragraph and just updating the word superintendent to reflect board secretary. The second superintendent to reflect board secretary in its place is my only edit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I just have one question. I had asked about recorded meetings. Is this BEDG policy the policy that would cover that, where we required the meetings to be recorded? Do we know?
Have you looked at any of the other policies to see where your question would best fit?
I had looked at the executive session one. But I'm not sure, so I'm wondering if someone can help me out.
So, yeah, looking at, Dr. Vink, looking at BEC executive session, open meeting law, open meeting policy. I'm looking at it right now, and that written or recorded minutes shall be taken during all executive sessions. Is that what you were referring to?
No, I was looking at the one that Board Member Trujillo just looked at, and that one said, I wanted to make sure that in a study session, as in a couple of weeks ago, that those are live streamed as well. And I think that we can put that into policy, but I had asked Dr. Gonzalez to get back on that, and maybe it was in yesterday's update, but I haven't seen it yet. So,
Well, we're going to be updating our policies and going through different batches. So maybe it's not in this one, but we'll figure out what the other one that you are referring to.
but that's my question. I don't want to approve this one if it should be in here.
I don't think it should be in here. I don't think it is.
Because this one says written or recorded minutes shall be taken of all regular and special board meetings, including executive sessions, and shall include the information required. So that would include a study session, because that's.
Yes, but these are about the minutes and the executive session. There's
the
a
rec-
policy with open public meetings. So that's where your
Do you
question
think it would fit in there?
correct.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. I appreciate that.
All right. Hearing none, I'll motion that we approve as amended the policies as presented.
This is Carmen Trujillo, I'll second.
Roll call for Ms. Jessica Bueno,
Aye.
Ms. Erica de la Rosa,
Aye.
Dr. Alicia Vink,
Aye.
and Ms. Carmen Trujillo.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we're moving on to our closing items. Do we have any board member requests other than Dr. Vink's request around our open meeting policy? Hearing none, do we have any for our future agenda items? All right, we're gonna adjourn I motion we adjourn at 5:32.
Salisha Bank, I'll second.
Roll call for Ms. Jessica Bueno,
Aye.
Ms. Erica de la Rosa,
Aye.
Dr. Alicia Vink,
Aye.
and Ms. Carmen Trujillo.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, our next board meeting will be on October 29th at 5:15. Thank you so much, and I hope you